Well, welcome, Zaynab. It's amazing to have you here on the Discord. I think community members have been anxiously waiting for this. So yeah, they've met Gasper last week. So yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting. I'll let Gasper maybe get started, and yeah, we've got quite a few questions to answer for the community members.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me, guys. Nice to be on our peeps.
Zaynab, you're muted if you're talking, or we start with questions.
Sorry about that. No, all good. Really excited to be on and finally get to chat with you guys and meet your meal. So thanks for having me. Lots of things happening in this space, and it's been all crazy. So all good. Let's just crack on. We can go through the questions.
Perfect. So going through to some of the questions here. So we'll start with one of our natural legions. So they're asking, based on one of the latest videos which came out in the teasers, was that we saw some vehicles that were actually almost like hovercrafts. So they're asking if those are part of the Genesis cars and if that's something which will be coming into play, in the future.
Yeah, we're looking at futuristic hover cars. We're looking at manual and automatic cars. We're looking at lots of cars, even two-wheeled cars, not two-wheeled bikes, if you will. There's a lot that's in the in HQ that we're going through and designing. So you got a sneak peek of some stuff that's coming out to play soon. So yes, we've got quite a few varieties of cars that we'll be bringing into the Nitro League arena that you guys can race and check out. It's really cool.
Great, that's awesome. Gasper, anything to add there on your side?
No, I think Zaynab made it pretty clear.
Great, awesome.
Just prepare some questions for afterwards if we don't answer your question exactly as you imagined.
Yeah, perfect. And then another interesting question here also was about the parts on the car. In terms of upgradable parts, how many parts would be upgradable per car? Is there like a set amount, or would it be different for every car?
Yeah, right now we're looking at 9 different upgradables. So you got your spoilers, you've got your rims, the wheel, the skin, obviously. You got the chip, lots of boosters, things like that. We're looking at upgrades and designs right now for the cars, and we've got the metrics that go along with it, obviously. So if you've got the Soviet board right now, what would happen if you changed that spoiler and upgraded that spoiler? What is the speed and the turn rate that you would find in that car? And the potential XP, the experience and rep for the car on its own. What is the potential there that you could end up achieving there? There's a lot that's happening. And we're also now, because we're still in development and we're looking at all the different designs of cars, we are bringing in a lot of advisors who design supercars, a lot of advisors who coming in from the gaming space, who have done this before also, and just so we can look at how would a car work in the future. I mean, some of our cars look older. They look like some classic 70s Mustangs that you would bring and do some drag racing with, which is great. But we also have our futuristic cars, like the hover car. And we're just bringing our minds together and trying to say, hey, what would it look like in the future? What would a turn look like in the future? Is it like your classic cars? that you're seeing now in the likes of Need for Speed and GTA. What would you do there with these games, and how would you change the experience there and soup it up even more, and try it in a different space? Because again, there have been a few cars that are crypto P2E games that are out there now that are racing, but not really at this level right now. So we really want to put thought into how we can make that experience a bit different. What it would be like to be racing those cars in the future. Even if it was a vintage car in the future and you souped it up, what would that mean? It's just so exciting, man. It's exciting what you could be doing with all of that. So yeah, you got like nine upgrades, possible upgrades, and there are a variety of them that you'll find in the marketplace, and then you bundle all those up together, design your own suit. Pretty cool.
And just to add, some of the additions to your car will impact the speed and braking and steering the car, and some of them will not, will be just there to have it look very good and to be known in between the racers, and they will be like, oh, this is G on the track, watch out for him.
Wow, that's really great answer. Yeah, I'm super excited now. So yeah, great information there. And yeah, I think it's exactly that, right? Like, what will the cars be in the future? And even if we love the classic cars, what would a classic car be reborn in the future? And I think it's just so exciting because it's really, the creativity is just, we can go really crazy with this. So yeah, I think that's awesome. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. Really good.
I mean, it's not just that. It's the beauty of it is that these concept cars are coming out, and then also you get to come in and bring in your own inspiration on what you think the car should look like, what you would like to see with the cars. It's always open. And God, there's such a massive market. People who just love their cars. I mean, be it Volkswagen Beetles, be it Mustangs or Fords. There are people who love their cars who would want to see it in the future, but there's some things that they love that are classic about it. It's that engine, or it's that muffler, it's the sparks when it ignites and goes to turbo gear. What is it that we love? And it's nonstop. It will keep coming through, and that's really beautiful to me. You've got so many monsters that you can morph and turn into different things, but cars, I can't see an end to it. There's so many there. It's an exciting space.
100%. Yeah, no, I fully agree. And I mean, from my side, I love pickup trucks, so I hope there'll be some really cool pickup trucks maybe in the future also.
Oh man, yes, absolutely. I've got one too. What would you load up in your pickup truck too? If you could get some people in the back of your car as you're ready to go and race, and then have them pop off before you go into the arena and boost off, it would be awesome.
Yeah,
we are looking for Elon's Cybertruck to come on Nitro.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's stalling. I don't know why.
He's waiting for us. Yeah, waiting for us. Great. Yeah, and then another question you have from one of our scholarship applicants, Joshua. Interesting conversation, because we did chat about this in the Legions chat as well. Was just and it might be it's a tokenomics question, so maybe we can't answer it fully. But we're asking, once the game launches, and we've seen in some other games like even Axie that after a while that if there's no sufficient burning system and things like that, it can also affect things later on. So is that something that's in consideration now? A burning system for, when people are earning Nitro, and obviously you want to keep the circulation relative, so that people are obviously earning enough to carry on playing. Is that something that's being discussed?
Yeah, well, the Nitro token isn't going to be used within the game economy. That's our governance token. We don't right now. We're not looking at an in-game token, but what we are looking at, the requirements that you need in the game to race is gas, and everybody needs fuel. You need your fuel, so you carry cans, and then you've got tickets. And those tickets are entry fees, basically, for all of these races and the tournaments. So depending on the race, depending on the track, depending on the tournament, depending on your XP and if it's been unlocked to you, or if these tickets were allocated to you because you earned a certain amount of XP and hit that level, then you can have access to that. So that is the continuous engagement there. We're talking about it. When you're saying the burning economy, we're not looking at tokens. We're not looking at the tokens in game at this time. If we wanted to do that, I mean, look at Axie Infinity. They had a governance token, and then they said, "Look, we can't use that because there was a burn rate." They developed SLP, and then SLP, and it's freaking fantastic seeing where they gone. They hit a scale that they didn't even measure, or didn't even imagine to measure, and that's awesome. Again, they hit it so far that now it's gotten to a certain degree and they can't scale no longer, and they're starting a new game now. So may we reach that same level as well and get all these people in the arena and racing with us. But at this point, I'm not seeing a threat or concern with burning, and especially since we're not using the Nitro token in game. So we should be good and tell Josh not to worry.
And especially with the racing game, which won't get boring. So with Axie moving around and with racing with friends, it's a different perspective of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Great, that's awesome. And then I've got another two questions here, which I think is a bit more just about the. I think people are just wondering, like, in terms of the gameplay. So I don't know how much you can share, but people are asking, like, when you're racing, are we going to be, it's going to be like, manual gear shifting, or just like push go and steer, or what sort of the initial stages of the racing is it going to be like? How much control will you have over the car? Obviously it's mobile first, so we'll be based around that. But yeah, can you share anything about that, like how the gameplay in terms of actually playing actually racing?
Yeah, so that's still under development now. So we don't have enough to even test with. We've got an alpha track. Initial solo track that's coming out that we're going to start trial and testing in the next 2 weeks, maybe, Gasper. We'll be testing that out and checking it out. So I can't tell you right now what it feels like, what it looks like, but we are expecting it to be turning with the turn rate being smooth. But again, I can't see that being. We're in alpha stage right now with the development. Considering that we launched our IDO in December. We're running at 1,000 miles an hour right now, so we'll have something coming out in the next 2 weeks that I can tell you more about that. So next catch up, we'll do that. I'll give you more information.
I might test it a bit earlier, because I have some connections with developers.
me, please. Great, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, and then another question.
We also want to bring in a lot of our followers to start testing it as well. So we may be selecting a few guys in our group now to help test this out and give us feedback and see what's going on as we go through it. So some people will be getting a sneak peek of the game as it's being developed. So watch the.
That'll be great. Yeah, I'm sure everyone will be super, super excited now. Yeah, I think there's some people have been asking about that. They've been super involved. So like, can I test and play? But yeah, I mean, it's obviously vital. Get great feedback from the players, right? Because that's at the end of the day, who's going to be playing the game. And a lot of these guys have played a lot of games also. So yeah, it's great. It's very important for the development. Yeah, that'll be great.
Oh, you share those names with me later. We'll reach out to them when we're ready to do testing. So that'll be perfect.
Great, awesome. And then another question from also another one of our Nitro Legions, Ash. He was asking about the sort of obviously the racing aspect, but in terms of like the open world sort of driving around experience, will that be part of the game as well? Obviously, I think with Metaverse it's going to be, but is that going to be from the beginning or later on? We're just driving around perhaps in a free world as an open drive. Is that something that will be available?
We're planning on having that available, but also, we're going to use one of the sensational words of the year 2022. We've got our metaverse. The Nitroverse is going to be developed within the metaverse in a bigger space. So we are looking at something wider than just racing a track, but exploring the environment around you and engaging in that environment in a multitude of ways as well. So yes, we'll start with the solo track. We will be developing additional tracks, and as we progress in our game, you'll have new tracks to race, so you don't have different places. You essentially earn while you're on the track, but you will be able to explore the environment there, and it's so beautiful what we've been doing, what the guys at HQ have been doing. It's man, I love it. But it's such a fantastic space, and it's all coming together, and you're watching it come together. And it's developing, it's evolving, and it's becoming a bit more refined as you're seeing it. And there's so much to see and experience. And you can't forget the premise here is we're built in the future. The game is set in the future, but there are no nations, there are no countries anymore. They no longer exist. It's 6 nations that rule the world, and their disputes are resolved on the natural league arena, in the natural league arena. So what does each nation look like? What are the clans and tribes going to look like within those spaces? I can't wait to see what our followers and our gamers designing and coming up with, because if they end up hitting a certain peak at the game with their XP and rep, they can start their own clan. What is that clan going to be named? What is their banner? What kit are they going to be wearing? Are they where are their allegiances, and what is it that they stand for? It's just so beautiful, and that environment will start being built around a lot of these concepts as well. It's just like a natural evolution in the real space, in the real world. You have a natural evolution where one tribe will end up growing and growing and growing, and it'll influence that area. What will that area look like in the future? What will the tracks look like? What's the inspiration of the car after you develop all of that? It's endless, and it's just so exciting. And this is what I do love about Nitro League. We're considering all of these things. Yes, there's a narrated loop in the gameplay for you to use, and there are missions for you to engage in and challenges there, but there's so much to explore and create on your own and build, and that's such a fascinating space to be in. And we're so open to it. We want to welcome it and engage all these people coming up with it. So yeah, that's the long short answer about what we're doing. Facing our environment, but it's such a beautiful space to be in and see what's going to happen there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, it's very exciting. Yeah, I think also just really excited to see what, as you said, what our followers and things will create. The clans and everything that will come from it. So yeah, I think it's just super exciting. So yeah, I can't wait to see what everyone will have planned and thoughts of. Yeah, so very, very exciting. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And then another question, just I saw it raised in the Telegram earlier, so I thought someone else asked it here now as well. Was just people were just querying about the exact just initial date for game release. Is it Q3 or Q2? Can you share anything around there? Just on that exact when the actual plan is to release the full game?
Oh, the full game? That's coming out at the end of Q3, early Q4. But like I said, we've got scheduled releases coming out, so you don't have to wait until that time to explore the environment and the game and the track and use your NFTs, your cars to race the track. So you're looking at the first solo. The garage is coming out first, then we've got the solo track. Then you have a multiplayer track. And then you'll have V2 of the solo track, and then V2 of the multiplayer track. You'll have the clans and tribes that will be released after that, and then the full launch of the game. So all of that is coming through, and I love that, because when you look at some of these other games that are coming out, they're doing some beautiful work and they're focused on development and they're testing in-house. But you launch, you get excited about a launch, you purchase their NFTs, or if and when they're available, and then you wait. You wait for a hell of a long time, and there's some games I can't wait to go out and play. But I'm going to have to wait another year and a half to 2 years until I can engage with them, and that's a long time now. I just think it's it's just a long. So have the game launched in the next quarter, but we have a lot of releases there where you can start testing your NFTs and playing with it and showing off. So that'll be good.
Awesome. That sounds great. And then final question, as a lot of people will ask, Gasper, maybe more related for you, but people are just asking, when CEX, when more NFT drop, any information on those there for upcoming months?
Yeah.
Go on, Gasper.
I can share that. That's if I tell you, I need to kill all of you. Just kidding. Yeah. So the next drop, we are doing. I won't say where, but we are doing one drop in the end of the February, and then we'll do a second drop in March, or maybe even 2 drops in March. That's it for now. And one of the cars that a lot of the cars from the latest trailer will be in these drops. That's all I can share. And regarding sex, yeah, we are all waiting, but you have this Chinese New Year came along, and a lot of people were away from the Texas. So now we are back on track with chasing them and talking regarding the listing and just organizing everything around it. But yeah, as we are still working on it, we don't want to go for, let's say, we want to be in top 10 tier Texas, so that would also be good sign for the community and for everyone. So that's why it's taking a bit longer. Otherwise, for let's say 50th Tex from the coin market cap, we could be easily there already. But that's not our goal. We don't want to be like just in 10 different Texas with no volume. We want to be at one with a very good reputation and being top 10. So that's the reason why it's taking a bit longer than expected.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think on those things, I personally never think there's a on the good central exchanges. Otherwise, you have to move liquidity around, all those things. So we rather want to focus on that. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. And very exciting about the NFT drops. And just for the listeners, also, I did make a post in the announcements channel earlier, and you would have seen it on our announcements and Twitter. But there will obviously be another drop of rooms with our partners Pollinate again. So yeah, you guys need to watch out for that, and there'll be a lot more of those coming up. So that's also super exciting to be able to see what will be coming out of those drops as well. So yeah, so you guys need to go through and put your notifications on, and then when that's announced exactly the dates, then go over and get your rooms. Yeah, cool. Perfect. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all of the questions. And yeah, thanks, Zaynab, especially really gave, I think, everyone so much insight. So it was really, really helpful. Some great feedback, really exciting times. We have recorded the session, so there will be a AMA recap as well on the YouTube and in our AMA recap announcements on Discord. So any of the people that didn't listen will be able to catch up. So yeah, so these are a great initiative. But thank you so much for making the time. We know how busy you must be. So really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Emil. Thanks, guys, for having me. And we've got a lot more to share in the coming weeks as well, so we can catch up again soon.
Great, sounds great. And yeah, and thanks, Gasper, again, as always. And yeah, for the community members listening now, once we end of the call now, you can go to your to POAP claim, and you can claim your POAPs for proof that you attended another AMA. So yeah, so well done for that. Thanks, Gasper.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Yes. Bye.